This next set of video lessons is specifically about developing drawing skills from the very basic all the way up till the little bit more complex. And even adults can use this. In fact, this is probably made more for adults teaching children than it is for children to watch on their own, but you may be able to have success with both. But I credit Mona Brooks, the author of Drawing with Children, which I have here, for first coming up with a system I'll be using. She called it the alphabet of shape or the elements of shape, and it consists of a wide variety of straight, curved, angle lines, and also dots and circles. And this is how she laid it out. We have the dot family, circle family, straight line family, curved line family, and angle line family. And I'll be going more into detail with that in just a little bit here. I was happy to discover this book because, like Miss Brooks, I asked the question, why is it possible for most people to learn how to read, write, and do math successfully, while few people ever are able to develop their drawing skills to their satisfaction? And the answer is that math, reading, and writing are taught by starting with their basic elements, like letters and numbers. And until people learn these, they can't progress to sentences and math problems. Visual images are made up of a combination of smaller elements too. And it's learning about these elements and how to fit them together in an image that enables people to learn how to draw. So let's see what the alphabet of shape actually means. The first element or letter of the alphabet, if you want to call it that, of shape, is a straight line. And a straight line can go in any direction as long as it doesn't change direction within the line. It can even be broken, or it can be a wider and thicker line. But if you look in things like furniture and architecture, you'll see that a lot of them are composed of straight lines. Letters of the alphabet, some of them, are also composed of straight lines. The next is the curved line. And that's just a line that changes direction, but it does it softly without making a corner, like an S or a C. Or curved lines are infinite. An 8 is the curved line. You can have curves going in any direction, sharp curves, wide curves, like a wavy line. And if you look at living things like animals, you'll see that mostly what they're composed of is curved lines of different kinds. Infinite variety, like I said. Then we have the angle line. And angle lines change direction, but they create a corner when they do so, so they change it sharply. And some letters of the alphabet that are angle lines are M, N, W, and I'm sure you can find some more. Angle lines, a lot of times they can be like two straight lines that come up and meet together in a corner. So when you're looking at something and you're drawing it, there's different ways that you can interpret the same thing. But angle lines, like curved lines, are infinite. And then we have the circle, which is a shape that's closed and roundish and doesn't have any corners. And it can be an oval or an egg shape or an amoeba shape, just anything that doesn't have corners and is closed. And the last one is the dot, and that is exactly the same as the circle, except it's filled in with color. So circles, ovals, eggs, amoebas, all of those different things, they all comprise the dot family. What the elements or alphabet of shape means is that when you look at an image to draw it, you can divide it into very many small, easy to draw elements and put them together, and that enables you to be able to draw the picture. One of the best things to start practicing on is a cartoon character. Children like them, adults like them, and they're made of simple lines and shapes. And so we'll start with this little cartoon character I got off the internet. And when I draw something, I always, first of all, visualize its image on the paper that I'm drawing it on so that I leave room for everything. Like I don't want to start the eyes at the bottom of the paper because there's no room for the body then. But I usually start with the eyes, and I've got, each one has a circle and a dot. One's smaller than the other because his head is tilted away from the viewer, so something farther away looks smaller. Now, then I have to start putting the different lines together around the eyes in relation to the eyes. And so, starting with this curved line here above his nose. Then we have this big, well, basically it's from the dot family, a big, round shape. And I'll go ahead and I'll color it in. So we have 2 circles and 3 dots basically in the image so far, since as much as I've drawn. Now we have a big sweeping curve here, and notice that it comes about even with one of his eyes. So when I draw it on my drawing, I keep that in mind, and I even make a little mark to give myself a point to draw to. It makes it easier. And then I follow the curve with my eyes and draw the curve. Starting to look more like the dog now. I have a tiny little curve line right above his eye that attaches to the circle there. So I'll draw that. It's like a wrinkled eyebrow kind of thing. And then I have to figure out exactly how long to draw the curve for his head. So I estimate that, and then I drew a guide dot, and that gave me a point to where I could draw the line, and that makes it easier to get it the right size. All right, now I'll build upward from his top of his head there, and I will start with this ear. You can't see all of it because part of it's behind his head, but the line starts right next to that circle, and it curves up, kind of a slight curve, and then in the area lined up with that circle for his eye, that's where the other line starts. And so we have 2 curved lines that come together. Now over here we have just a slight curve that comes out horizontally like that, and a little bit of a curve here, and a long sweeping curve that comes probably just above his corner of his mouth as far as distance goes. So I'm going to make a dot that'll give me a place to draw to, and then draw that curved line to that dot. And then the other line is almost a straight line going down to the dot too. Right, now a little curved line from there to there. Then I have just a little line over here and a little line at the back of his head. That's his little skinny neck that he's got. And then the next thing will be his collar. So I have a curved line that comes around like that. So it starts here and it goes around and like that. And then 2 short little lines that are the sides of his collar, and a curved line parallel to the first one. I'll worry about the little bobble on it later. Alright, now the next thing would be this curved line for the front of his body coming down and around. And so I have to figure out how far down to draw it and about how far over it comes when it curves in relation to the rest of his body. And so I made a guide dot to show me that. And now I draw the line to the guide dot. All right, now a straight line that goes there and contacts that curved line, another curved line. As you see, I'm just going from line to line and putting the new lines into the picture in relation to where the old lines are, as far as distance and that kind of thing. And so another curved line. And that doesn't mean that there's only a certain order that things can be drawn in. This happens to be the order I'm using. But as long as you find a starting place, you could probably go off in any other direction, as long as you can fit it together. 3 little lines for the little toes. Now this line up here was a little elbow right there. So the line curves and then it curves up into a little angle and then it comes down. It meets that curved line. This is back foot. So we have a little slight curve, we have an angle, and we have another little slight curve. And then we have the curved line for his foot, like that. And I'm going to go ahead and draw the straight line for the bottom of his feet too. And now this curved line in relation to the line on the back of his leg, and 2 little curved lines for his toes, and draw this line that comes down and curves, and make sure that you draw it in relation to the other lines that are there. Curved line for his tail. There are two curved lines that come up into an angle. Now remember, the whole idea of this is to observe and draw. You don't have to worry about making it look exactly like the picture I'm drawing from or exactly like the one I'm drawing. It's just a matter of observing and seeing the lines and drawing them. I've used this with my elementary art classes, and these are some by my former students. This one 5th grade, and this one did this in 2nd grade. People that try this are often surprised that they can draw much better than they ever thought they could. For more characters to practice on, all you have to do is go to Google and put in line drawings of cartoon characters. You'll have more than you could ever want.